Good afternoon, floss tubers. I am here to talk about my thread collection and how I store them. I stitch with DMC thread and some hand dyes, as well as with Kreinik. I'll also be talking about how I store my beads, which are pretty much all my Mill Hill beads that I use for memorabilia. To start with, DMC threads I store in the birch boxes, and I find that's a tried and true method for me. I like the bottoms, I like to wind on the bits I don't use, and I find stitched bows don't work for that. I use stitch bows for when I am storing numerous quantities of a thread, so I'll have my working skein which is on a bobbin, and then the extra skeins are stored away in a ring binder, which I have labelled up for the projects, and with the stitch bow pockets and the bows. With using the thread containers, here in Australia we have the birch ones which we get from Spotlight, and we can sometimes get them from our stitching stores. I have a big collection. I have both the small and the large. The large ones I tend to colour code to the project. Mirabilias tend to be purple, Heaven and Earth tend to be any other colour I can get, and if I'm lucky enough I try and colour code to particular Heaven and Earth. So I've got a Gothic style Heaven and Earth at the moment, and they're in an orange box, and my mermaids go into green boxes and so forth. We don't get much choice, so when we see the colours I grab them en masse and spend up big. I like the boxes because the brother stick labels stick on them nice, and I can put lovely titles, and so I know what the box is. Some of my boxes go over 2 boxes, so I label the front and I label the back spine so I can store them. They fit nicely up the portrait style in the IKEA / Bunnings cube shelves, and I've got a couple of them tucked in a cupboard. So storing my threads, I use the bobbins. I use my brother labeler and the DMC labels to number my thread bobbins. I prefer the plastic ones. The only time I use the cardboard ones now is in my Teresa Wentzler when I'm doing blending, and I then sort of try and blend up a few strands of the thread because you're usually using quite a bit, and just makes it tidier and quicker. And also you can reuse the plastic bobbins over and over again, and I just think they're great. One special thing I do with the bobbins for my Heaven and Earths is I take the key and I fold down all the little pages and create just one key, which results in looking a bit like this, I don't know. And as you can see, I stick it inside the box, but I also get a couple of them together, photocopy them onto an A4 sheet of sticky label, and then I cut out the symbols and put the appropriate symbols on the appropriate bobbin. Now let me see if I can find the camera. I'm new to this, please have some patience. Oh, there we go. Don't think it's wanting to focus. And then just makes it easier when you're looking up and along. I don't know, where are we? Looking for a thread, you can just see the symbol as well as the number, and I find I learn the symbols a little bit quicker, and it's just a good double check. There's nothing worse than thinking you've grabbed the right colour and you've gotten a number wrong, and you end up stitching the wrong colour. Trying to unpick on a Heaven and Earth is absolutely impossible. So far I've been lucky, touch wood. I've been able to get away with a couple of tiny little errors for them. So that's my plastic boxes for my DMC. I will quickly show you the folder where I have my stitch bows. It's nothing overly exciting. It's just your regular ring binder lever arch with the tabs and the project label, and then in numerical order the colours or the extra threads. So I've got a couple of these folders as I am a chronic starter of Heaven and Earth. Haven't finished one yet. Maybe 1 year I'll get there. The next thread type I have, and I've had to find a storage solution for, is my Kreiniks. I do stitch a lot of Mirabilia mermaids and fairies, and they use a lot of the Kreinik threads. I found these little plastic containers at the reject shop. They were just in the pencil case section. I haven't seen them for a while, so I'm not sure if they'll still have them. These were purchased a number of years ago. So that's Kreinik's. Specialty threads, I don't store them anywhere special at the moment. They're just tucked into an extra tin that I have sitting in where I store my threads. I am looking forward to seeing Mrs. Milky Bar Kids video clip. Hopefully she'll do one about her new storage method for her silks, as I'm starting I hope to be starting a chatelaine very shortly once my purchases from 123 Stitch arrive, and also I am eagerly awaiting the arrival of my Millennium frame, although I don't expect that before Christmas, but I'll probably start the chatelaine a lot earlier depending on when my order comes in. So last but not least, I wish to show you my beading storage. I discovered these little plastic trays in a craft fair. They are designed and sold mainly for doing the the bedazzling tool with the hot glue, the hot little heat tool that you stick your bead down and it heats the glue on the back of the bead and the bead sticks to your fabric. That's what they were designed for, but they work perfectly for the Mill Hill beads. They are a clear plastic square container, rectangle container. I like the ones that hold the 12 round containers. So it's a square container containing little round jars it's just a slip on and off lid, but the jars are screw top. I'll get one that's going to be pretty. I use my labeler again, this time with a clear tape in it, and I put the label, which I've worked out a little code, so Mill Hill, and then a code for the type of bead. So this was, I think it was bugle bead, something bugle bead, and the actual colour number, and bead number. And then on the top I just redo the bead number. I find with Mill Hill the number is individual to the bead, so you're not going to get, say, 42031 in a seed bead, a petite bead, and a bugle bead. It is this particular petite glass bead. I store all my beads numerically, and then when I need them for a project, I don't do my beading until the very end, so they stay all stored away nice and tidy until I do my beading on a project, and then I will sort out all the beads I need for a particular project, get the jars done up and in order, and then just have all the beads there in one of these trays. And then I have a lovely beading sticky pad, and it's sticky on both sides, and one side I stick to the top of my container and the other side is the top sticky bit that I work from. I tip the beads I want onto that sticky pad, and then I go through and stitch them down onto my project. And that's all I have to talk to you about this evening. I hope you enjoy this clip, and I look forward to hearing from your feedback.